In this movie, we are going to style our lovely news, sessions, and vault subheads. Earlier on, when we were working on this project, we used our H1 tag for Sugar Record Studios, in part because of the search engines and how they're going to rank H heading tags. So these are subheads and pretty important, and it might be nice to have those ranked a little bit higher. So rather than just creating a class that was bold perhaps and a larger point size, why don't we use an H tag? I'm going to highlight these one by one and come down to properties and format. I've already used an H1. It's not that I can't use it again, but probably not equal in importance. So maybe I'll skip down to the H3. And I'll do the same for sessions. You can see I've moved my div tags out of the way just for comparison. Okay, so what we're getting when we choose H3 are the default look settings for H3, the default properties. So I have bold, I have a font size. It's a little bit larger, however, than the font size that I've used in the design. So I do need to create a CSS rule for the H tag of H3 to override what the default settings are. So over I go to my rules and kind of, let me close that, bring my CSS rule stack over. So I'm moving down to the bottom and I'm picking a new CSS rule. Now, as you know, as you've been experimenting with, we have our choices of class IDs or tags. The H tags are existing pieces of HTML, so therefore they are considered tags. And just as a reminder, if you're not really sure, is it a class, an ID, a tag, you can always go to compound. Anything can be created as a rule when you're in the compound, but I'll stick to the tag just to remind you that all of the HTML tags can be redefined using CSS. And when I'm in the tag selector type, and I'm in the center section, all of my options are here, including what I'm looking for right now, which is H3. So I'm redefining the look of the H3. I don't need to do too much. It's already bold. The size, just a little bit larger than what I want, however. So I'm going to come into font size and let's try 18. Okay, that looks about right. The font that I chose, or the designer chose when they created this, was a little more condensed. There's a little bit of letter spacing in here, so there are some subtle differences, but I'm mainly just going for size right now. All right, well that looks pretty good. The next thing I need to do is create a rule that will define what this orange greater than sign will look like. I don't want to add that information into the H3 because I really only want a specific part of it. I need to just span a small area of this to apply that class to. So I will write a class, a type of CSS rule. So I will choose my new CSS rule. It is going to be a class. Classes always begin with periods. There we go. And how about orange carrot? That's my name. Okay, so I'm in the type category and I know that this is going to be orange. So for my color, I can use the wonderful color picker that's built into Dreamweaver. Click and let go to reveal the eyedropper. Move right on over to something that is orange and select. Now I can't hit apply. I'm making this orange carrot class, but it's not attached to anything yet. So if I hit apply, nothing's really going to happen. So I'll put in as much as I know right now, and I may have to come back and finesse this rule a bit. So I know that it's orange, and I know that the background behind it should be black. So I'm just going to pick a standard black from the color set. Click OK. All right. So now I need to apply that rule just to those characters. So I'll highlight just the greater than sign. Sorry, my little navigator's hiding that. can move down to properties, go to the class section, and there is orange carrot. And I've made some other attempts at this, so you see there are a number of rules already listed here. Okay, there's orange carrot. Pretty good. Not exactly what I need. I need a little more width to that. But I'll continue on highlighting the greater than signs and applying the rule of orange carrot and get that final orange carrot. All right. So I want to take you over to the code just to remind you what's happening here. I chose, let me scoot this over, I chose the vault text. So as you look in the code over here, I'm on line 45, it's in a div tag that was named vault. There's an H3, and here's the word vault. But then spanned, this little character, that's the little shortcut for the greater than sign. So that is span. So we've kind of removed that from the normal context so that we could assign a class just to that. So span class equals orange carrot, the name of the rule that we've just created. So it's almost there. As I mentioned before, we need a little extra width on each side of that. So I'm going to find the rule, double click on the rule so I can bring up the editing suite. Let me try that one more time. Here we go. And anything to do with space typically is found in the box category. I'm pretty happy with the height of it, so I don't need to increase or build in pixels there. But I am going to, in the padding, add, I'm going to take same for all off. Again, I don't need to do anything with the top and the bottom. But I will add 5 pixels to the right and 5 pixels to the left. Now that the rule is attached to something, I can use the apply function. Okay, so that's pretty good. It's not an exact match, but the fact that I could do that in CSS and not have to bring it in as a graphic is pretty powerful. So I'm going to click on my live view button and confirm. So I have some spacing differences here. And probably simply because I don't have a space there. Okay, I'll move these in place. And those are complete.